Good evening and welcome to Social Media Fridays on Monday. Each week we discuss things that happened in the last 7 days on social media. With us today we have Edwin Jonk. Edwin is CEO of idesthost.nl in the Netherlands. You can find Edwin on idesthost.nl. Also, Masataki Waso, he is here. He is CEO of wasaweb.net and also a Google top contributor on the AdSense and Google Plus Help community. You can find Masataki at wasaweb.net. Michelle Deer is a social media dynamo from Texas. Somewhere near Austin, I think. And Tim Capper is the dealer principal at onlineownership.com. He's based in the UK. All right, our first question tonight is from... it's a topic from Michelle Deer, making conversations easier to follow on the tweet page.
So Twitter has made some changes. If you use native Twitter, you may notice that lengthy conversations have a change to the way that they look. And the way that they're going to change is that anything that has a number of replies is going to be highlighted. And you can expand those highlighted entries, and underneath them are going to be the replies. So those conversations are going to look a little different, and that's going to be, of course, if you use native Twitter. Let's see. I'm looking to see very quickly if that's just on mobile or if it's going to be rolling out on. Yes, I'm sorry. It's on the desktop right now, and it will roll out on the mobile app in the future, but there's no time frame that was specified.
Okay. Any other comments on this one? All right, let's move along because we have a lot to get through tonight, and we want to see Tim Capper in the SEMrush webinar. This one is Facebook tests saved replies, a tool that lets pages respond to customers with canned messages, just when you thought Facebook couldn't get any tackier.
Yeah, now this is intended for like the mom and pop or the small shop because it's intended for like a customer service or a support kind of feature. So when a user sends in like a customer support request or maybe a technical issue via the message portion of your page, what you can do, and this is in test, of course, is there'll be a number of replies that are auto-populated or that you can create that you can reuse to answer basic questions or even more complex questions because you can save and reuse them. In addition to that, there's some auto-populate features that you can use that will automatically populate the person's first name and so forth. Again, it's not going to be intended for larger companies that use Zendesk or internal or larger ticketing systems, of course. But for your mom and pop or whatever that might be using Facebook for technical support or customer service, this might be something that they might want to take advantage of down the road. No idea when it's going to be coming out. It's just in a test kind of phase right now.
Okay, thanks, Michelle. Anybody else on this? All right, this one, Facebook officially launches place tips and free beacons. Can hardly wait to hear what this is about.
Okay, so a few weeks ago, we were talking about the restaurant reviews that were in test on pages, and I had mentioned that Facebook Place Tips was going to be involved in that. Now Facebook Place Tips has rolled out officially, and it's not just, of course, for the restaurant portion. It's for brick and mortar, local businesses, landmarks like museums and things like that. And the way that it works basically is if a user has turned on location services for their phone for Facebook, when they enter one of these local businesses, there's a beacon that there's a beacon that streams the information to the user's news feed on their phone, and they can look at the news feed, and it has information from the business's page. Let me see. It's very specific information, basically. Oh, and any reviews that their friends may have put in about the business. Let's see. Friends' recommendations, upcoming events, and posts from the business's Facebook page. So I suppose if a business has posted something about like a coupon or something like that, it would show up in the feed. So that's basically what the Facebook Place Tips are. The beacon right now, if you're a local business and you're interested in providing this kind of service for your Facebook consumers, you can get a beacon for free from Facebook. So contact Facebook, do a Google search or go to Facebook and take a look and figure out how you can contact them and get a free beacon right now. So that's what the Place Tips are, basically.
Yep. Okay. Thank you, Michelle. Anybody else? Oh, I think we're going to make this webinar at midnight. If you haven't signed up for it, you can find a link on the SEMrush page. We'll skip this one. I don't want to argue about Google Plus tonight, unless somebody else has a comment on the murder by 1,000 cuts. Okay. Next, we have a new way to send a location in Messenger.
Okay, so Facebook Messenger, they've actually been working on this location piece before that issue where, what was it, the stalking thing. But anyway, there's a new way where you can send locations in Messenger. For example, if you want to say, hey, let's meet up at this restaurant, or I'm at this location and I'm running late. When you're talking to a friend, so they can see how far out you are from wherever you're going to meet. Basically, in Messenger, there's 3 little dots down at the bottom, and I think it's the far right in your chat area. So you just click on the 3 dots, basically, and you can send the location of where you are. Or if you're going to meet at a restaurant, you can search for the restaurant name, and it'll pop up, and it'll put the map, or the location rather, into the chat itself, and that way the other person will get the information. So you don't have to have the location services turn on like you used to have before. So you now have full control over how and when you share that location information, unlike before where you had that stalker kind of thing going on. And then they just, in the article, I just kind of took this straight from it. Don't forget that Messenger doesn't get location information unless you have location services turned on for Messenger. So, just wanted to reiterate that about the stalking thing. They had that in the article because of that. So 3 dots, get the information, you can send it, and that's the new feature.
Excellent. I see we've just been joined by Meher Bhagat. Meher is a consultant in social media.
Hello, everyone.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
That's great, Meher. Yes, Meher's a consultant in social media from, I think, Chandigarh in India?
New Delhi.
New Delhi. I'm an idiot. Okay. All right. Our next is a question from. Well, it's not a question. It's a topic. A fresh look for your pins. What's news in the world of Pinterest?
This one's interesting. It's for mobile only right now. It'll be on the desktop soon. But the reason that they made this change is just visually because mobiles can be, your mobile screen can be small. So now when you tap on a pin to bring it up on your screen to see them close up, you'll notice that there'll be one of three types of buttons that you didn't see before. There's a recipe, like there's a recipe type of pin, and you'll see on there a button called Make It, and it's a larger button because of the screen size. If it's an article, it would have a button called Read It, and then all of the other types of pins will have Visit It, which of course would open the location of whatever the pin has attached to it for the URL. And basically, quote from the article, this helps people take action on pins on a smaller screen. And then the changes will be on the desktop as well fairly soon. No exact date on that. I honestly don't know what happens on the quote-unquote Make It. I can only assume that what it does is it opens up the recipe card so that you can see it. But Make It, Read It, and Visit It are the three new buttons.
Cool.
And
okay.
Websites can mark up their site or their page to get those rich pins. I'm looking at the article. The article is Open Graph. They also support schema.org. So that's nice.
Okay, anybody else? All right, this one, Facebook and Shopify are expanding their buy button testing.
So sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. So back in July, Facebook started testing their buy button in conjunction with Shopify, but it kind of went by the wayside. It was only testing with just a very small group of businesses. Now that now that you've got Pinterest and some of the others really pushing the buy button, Facebook has stepped up their game with Shopify. So Shopify is expanding its beta group of U.S. clients, U.S. only right now, and they're actually taking requests from businesses who want to join the beta for this buy button. And so they want a really large group to test out their buy button. I haven't seen it yet, but I haven't been looking for it, honestly. Well, actually, I'll be honest with you, I use Social Fixer, which dumps all of that kind of stuff, so if you've seen it, let us know, anybody on the panel as well. I have no word on when there might be an actual rollout because they're still in beta and they're still taking people to join the beta, but I wouldn't anticipate it would be too terribly long since they're up against the clock on everybody else who's rolling out the buy buttons. So what do you guys think? Have you seen it? What are you thinking about the buy button?
I haven't seen it. I think it's also US only. No.
Okay, let's move on, but it's interesting to note there's a lot of fragmentation going on, and I can't see Google stock price staying as high as it is. Sharing block lists to help make Twitter safer. I'm interested in this. What's the news on this one?
Okay, so a lot of times you have, most of us hopefully, have a fairly large list of people that we've blocked, at least I do. Now you can actually export your block list. So if you go into the area in your settings, or rather in your account where you have your block list, theoretically, I've tested this, you should have, right up at the top, you should have a little thing that says Advanced, and if you drop that down, there should be an option to export. And you can export it into, I think it's a CSV. And what you can do is you can give that list to somebody else, and they can actually import into their blocked list, and then they have the ability to block multiple people at one time instead of having to do it one at a time. You also have the ability, of course, to import somebody else's block list into yours, and of course block all of those people at one time instead of one at a time. And it's already rolled out. I went in and looked at mine. I don't have that functionality, so if anybody on the panel can, while we're talking about it, take a quick look-see and see if they do, that would be great. I'm just going to assume there's something wrong with my account. But that functionality does exist, and it's pretty cool, especially if you are a like user and you have the same kind of issues, and maybe you need the same, you need to block the same types of users, and that kind of thing.
Cool. Anybody else on this one? Okay. Drive traffic to your Facebook page with the Page plugin. So this is a plugin which goes on to the website to drive traffic to your Facebook page. I thought it was supposed to work the other way around.
Well, Facebook has been telling us for a while that the like box is going away. They've been telling us the like box is going away, like box is going away. And then they announced at F8 that what's going to replace it is this Page plugin. What it looks like, you can go to the article, there's a graphic there. It basically looks just like your page but smaller. And so they can like the page from there, they'll see a little bit about the page, they can see which of their friends like the page, and that kind of thing. Now, for those people that already have the like box installed, the Page plugin will automatically it will just automatically switch over. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to happen in the background, but that's what's supposed to happen. If you don't have the like box installed, then you can install the Page plugin once it's released. Let's see, on June 23rd. I don't know how much real estate it's going to take up on the page. It looked fairly large in the in the graphic on the article, so we'll have to see what it looks like when it's released. But if it's going to be, a smaller version of a page, I'm thinking that, we're talking quite a bit of real estate here. So I think it's going to be one of those things where it's a half and half. You really hate it or you really like it. So we'll see what happens when it releases.
Okay. All right. Anybody else on this one? Twitter gets serious about messaging. Will remove the direct message character limit.
Well, everybody's happy about this, including me. The point of the 140 character limit, of course, was for public consumption. And, a lot of us use DM for conversations. And so Twitter finally realized that there wasn't really a necessity for the character limitation for direct messaging. And so they are removing that limitation. And that's going to start in July. So we can all finally have our conversations without multiple tweets, just to be able to, communicate a thought to someone in direct messaging. So I haven't found one person that's unhappy about this yet. So yay on this one.
Okay, I can see that Edwin Yonk is over the moon over this one.
Yeah, yeah. I like long crazy rants.
All right. Now Facebook now cares about how long you look at stuff in your newsfeed.
Yeah. Okay. So before I get into how this works, I'm going to preface this with I really don't know how this is going to affect the algorithm, and I will also say that Facebook says that it's not going to affect the page distribution in the newsfeed. Okay, so let me tell you how this works. The algorithm right now works on how you like things, and whether you comment and things like that. And we're talking about on your friends' stuff and stuff that shows up in your feed from like, I don't know, I like Texas Hill Country, and so it'll show up on my feed, and I might comment on it or like it. Now what they're looking at is how quickly you scroll through items in your newsfeed, or if you slow your scroll and peruse something, or if you stop your scroll and read something, but you may not open it. So because they know not everybody likes something, they may not like it, but and one of the reasons that they gave as an example is, you may not want to like something because it may not be something appropriate to like, but like if somebody has a loss of a family member, but you want to slow your scroll and read it. And so it's really hard to metricize something that you really shouldn't like, but you're reading. And to me, that's kind of a weak example. I have a personal opinion about that, but it's not just this. It spans the whole gamut of them choosing what I'm going to see and what I'm not going to see with respect to my friends. So that's just something new that they're changing with respect to the algorithm. Let's see, it'll be coming out in the coming weeks. Of course, it's kind of vague about how it's going to, the algorithm stuff is always vague. And then, quote unquote, do not expect pages to see significant changes in distribution as a result of this update. So, again, continue to pay attention to if some of your friends stop showing up in your feed. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay. Well, we've done it. We've reached the end. If you're watching this at another time, I don't think we've got a viewer left at the moment, but if you're watching this at another time, thank you for your interest. Your participation makes what we do worthwhile. We'll be back at the same time next week to do it. No, we won't. This is Monday. Next week, we'll be back on Sunday. Okay, we'll see you then. Thank you very much.